Hello everyone, in this video I'm going to show you how I made the Bridgerton nails. This nail set is going to be based off of your girl Penelope for season 3. So right now I am just using a top coat on this green color. I chose this green because Penelope wore a lot of greens and blues to complement her beautiful red hair in this season. Right now I am starting to draw that line for the feather. I did not end up going with this line though, I did not like it, so I did redo it off camera. Once I got a line that I did like, I started on the feathers. Now this process was so tedious, going back and forth. I used 3 different colors. I used white, light gray, and dark gray. And I believe at the end is where I added the gold. It came out so nice, but it did take a lot of time. Now, why did I do a feather? I hope you're caught up at this point on Bridgerton. If not, I'm so sorry. But most people know that Penelope is Lady Whistledown. So of course I had to capture that with the feather that she uses to write her gossip letters. Here I added the ink to the feathered pen. Off camera, I did add the word dear because she does start every letter off saying, "Dearest gentle reader." I really tried to stay on theme with this nail of Lady Whistledown, aka Penelope. I did use a matte top coat on this nail. Now on this nail, I already did 1 layer of black. I am going in with my second coat, and then as soon as I am happy with it, I am going to cure it. Now I'm going in with some gold powder. I really wanted to keep the gold very isolated right into like the middle area of it, but I did want some gold dusting all around the nail. As soon as I was happy with the placement of the gold, I went in with a top coat and I cured it. This by far was the hardest nail in this set. This nail alone took me a little bit over 2 hours to do. You'll see why. Lots of detail, but it was well worth it and I love it so much. This is the logo that Lady Whistledown used at the top of her letters. With this next nail, I really got my inspiration from what I would like to call Penelope's Paris dress. Absolutely stunning, almost like a dark turquoise color, so that is exactly what I'm doing here. I have 2 jelly colors. I have a dark blue and a green that I'm mixing together to try to get turquoise. I am brushing that color all over the nail, and as soon as I am happy with it, I am going to cure it. I am adding gold glitter all over this nail, as like her dress has gold accents all throughout it. Once I am happy with it, I'm going to cure it. I feel like I've said cure it so many times in this video, but that is the utmost important step of gel nails, is to cure it. I just added a top coat onto that nail. Now I'm going in with some rhinestone charm glue to add these beautiful rhinestones on that remind me of the emerald that she has in the center of her gown. I am new to making nail sets, so I don't know the correct terminology for everything, but I am learning as I go. Every day I learn something new. Here I'm just adding on the rest of the rhinestones and I'm making sure they are centered and of course curing. Originally that's all I had planned to do with this nail, but then I looked at the nail and it was too plain for my liking, so I had to add some black accents onto it, which reminded me of her gloves. I did not like the first one I did, so I took it off and started over. Then I got some more gold powder and mixed it with the rhinestone glue. I decided I wanted to put gold dots on every line because it still wasn't enough glam. It was still too plain for my liking. At this point, I think I was just going with the flow. I mean, it did turn out nice, but I didn't have any plan to do that. I ended up dragging up that line, as you could see, which I could have stopped there, but did I? Did I stop? No, I didn't. I added more rhinestones on. Once I was finally happy with the way it looked, I did put a top coat on and cured it. Now, normally I would not put a top coat on after I do rhinestones, but in this particular case, I used the gold, so I needed to make sure that gold was locked in. I noticed that if you use a top coat over rhinestones, it kind of dulls it out, if that makes sense. It just doesn't shine the same way. Now this nail. Can you guess by the color? This nail is inspired by Penelope's diamond ball dress. But you must remember, diamonds are not the only gems that sparkle. As soon as I got done laying down that blue and I was happy, I did cure it. And yes, we are doing sugar. When doing sugar, you really want to make sure that your base is tacky enough to hold it all on. That's where I messed up. You will see that in a second, that some parts of my nail was not holding on to it like it should have. So I had to go back in with either a base or a top coat. I did use a different brush, that way I would not mess up my paintbrush. But yeah, I had to redo that and then redo the sugar. Now you do want to make sure before you give it a cure that you run your fingers down each side of the nail, that way it gets the glitter off and it's not poking your nail later on. That is exactly what I just did. As you can see, I am desperately struggling to keep that glitter on the nail. I believe this is the point where I realized that there is no saving it. I just need to go back in with more base to try to make it tacky to fix it. Yep, this is where it was at. I dust off all of the extra glitter so that I could go back in and not have a glitter mess. Once again, I am fairly new at this, so my way at correcting this mistake may not be the proper way, but it's the way I did it and it worked. I am really making sure that I have every little spot coated, and I didn't even cure it. I just went straight into the sugar again. This sugar glitter is doing a really good job at capturing Penelope's diamond dress. All of her dresses were really good this season. They did a great job at letting her have her moment and shine as the main character. It was long overdue. Once again, you want to make sure you are using either your finger or a brush to run down the edges of the nails. That way, in the long run, they are not poking your fingers and irritating the skin. Yay, it's fixed. Now that it's fixed, I'm going to coat the nail and make sure that it is all secure, and then I'm going to cure it. I did forget to get this on camera, but after the nail was done curing, I did gently file the top layer of the nail just to make sure that when I do put the rhinestones on later, the texture does not interfere with them sticking. I decided to go with 2 rose charms since flowers are very big in the Bridgerton series. As soon as I was happy with the placement of the second rose, I put that in for cure. Now I'm going to start with the rhinestones and the diamond, which that diamond was huge. In order to keep it up, I had to put the rhinestones down first. This diamond was a little tricky in balancing it to stand upright, so it did make it a little difficult to find the right placement that I wanted for it, but we got there eventually and it ended up looking amazing. Now that that is all set and cured, of course I had to go back in with more rhinestones because it's all about diamonds. It's diamonds, diamonds, diamonds. So of course I had to go back in with more. It did take me a little bit to place all of the rhinestones, but there were quite a bit of them on that nail. There's at least 16, so yeah, that's quite a bit. Sorry, I know some of the angles are kind of off camera. I am working on getting better at making sure I am in the view, but all I'm doing is laying down the rhinestones. And obviously, once I was happy with all the placements of the rhinestones, I'm sure you know what I did. I cured it. This is how the nail came out. With this nail, since you guys have already seen me do black polish, I went ahead and did that so I could get straight into the gold. I really wanted to do something simple with this nail, yet tie all of the colors in together, as well as keeping the glam still there. Again, after I was happy with the gold powder, I went back over with a top coat to keep it all in place. And of course I have to do more charms. I said simple, not boring. So with this, I am tying in the colors like I said. I did 1 blue, 1 green, 1 white, with the blue and the green nails, and then the gold with the black underneath. Yeah, you get where I'm going here. Once I put the last charm on, I did cure it, and I added some gold caviar beads into the center of each flower. And I went back in for one last cure. Thank you so much for staying and watching me make these Bridgerton Penelope nails. You guys are awesome. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Let me know down below what you think of these nails. Was it a hit or miss? What Bridgerton nail design for Penelope would you have wanted to see?